Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney and I have a very exciting video to share with you all today. I just can't wait to tell you guys about this. Okay, so today is a sponsored post. Today's post is sponsored by the Tailor Academy. Now, they have paid me for the video, and gifted me it's basically the free trial. So it's exactly what you as a consumer would have access to if you wanted to. There's a free or a 6-week, well, there's a 14-day trial, but there's also a 6-week money-back guarantee. And I was given access to the first 3 patterns of this program I'm going to tell you about, but all opinions are my own. Very excited about this. I'm just required to let you know that the video was paid in exchange for review of the program. Okay, so the Tailor Academy. This is just the coolest story. This makes me want to visit Austria so bad and to weasel my way into this family's tailoring business. So the whole story behind the Tailor Academy. This is a family-owned tailoring business in Vienna, Austria. And I believe, now my German could be completely not right here, but I believe the name of the tailoring company is Weimar Schneider. I could be wrong. But anyway, they have been in business for the 9th generation is working there now, which is crazy. So over 250 years, this family has had a tailoring business, and it's just been information passed down from generation to generation. And Stefan, who is the gentleman that is, I think it's his sons, or he's the older generation, I think, in the business right now, and then there's the generation under him right now that is working there, from what I can tell. Anyway, he learned the craft from his grandfather and his father, and just talks about when he was learning this, how he wanted to learn the craft as well from other tailors, just to get a broader knowledge base, you know, see how other people were doing things, and just had a really hard time finding anyone that would take him on as an apprentice because they felt like they were training their competition, yada, 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 you know, that kind of thing. But he was noticing that those companies that he reached out to at that time are no longer in business. And how sad that is, that all of their expertise, because as we all know, an act of sewing can be done about 1,000,000 different ways, and there's no right or wrong way. So learning from as many different people, I can totally understand his reasoning here. The more the better, and the more we can share and keep this knowledge alive, the better. You know, as we all know, I'm sure tailors in Europe are, as well as here in the US, they just aren't as prolific as they used to be, because clothing has turned to fast fashion. People aren't doing handmade clothing as much, hardly, I mean, just very small in comparison to what it used to be. Now factories are doing it with assembly line and that sort of thing. And just the art of tailoring is being lost somewhat. And his desire to continue that and to keep that growing. And in their shop in Vienna, they're only able to take on a couple of apprentices at a time, just because, I mean, they're a relatively small operation, and how it broke his heart to have to turn away dozens of applicants every year, because he knew that there was not that many options for people to go to apprentice for tailoring. And so he has designed this course called the Tailor Academy, and they reached out to me if I would be willing to just kind of review it, just as if I were doing the 6-week money-back guarantee trial period. And let's see, it's 3 patterns. So the way that the program works is you get a new pattern every 2 weeks. It is a 2-week or a 2-year program, and at the end of it, you have 52 patterns. Now, this program is designed for both like a home sewer, someone that just wants to really up their skill, as well as someone who would want to do this for a business. So at the end of this, you have access to all 52 of these patterns, and you can make them for as many different clients as you want. There's a very large size range for, I'm trying to think now what the bust measurement went up to, like a 52 or a 54, 56, something like that. But you can use these patterns for clients. You have access, obviously, to make whatever you want and to sell those items for clients and all that kind of thing. So I I'm such a proponent of apprenticeships. As you guys, if you've been watching my channel for any time at all, you know that I had the extreme privilege of being an apprentice underneath a professional dressmaker. And then I was able to go into a bridal workroom, and I learned so much in a really short amount of time. I think when all is said and done, between my apprenticing under Joyce and then working with Sarah in the workroom, 2.5 years, maybe 3, when all was said and done, and I would say 90% of my sewing expertise was picked up in that chunk of time. But that being said, those were 2 teachers, and I love learning. Honestly, if I could have been a professional student, that's what I would have done with my life. I love learning. I've always loved school. I mean, obviously there's things in school where you're maybe not as excited to learn about just because that doesn't pique your interest. But if I could go back to school and just learn about the things I want to learn about, I would be in school forever. I could take sewing classes and creativity and art classes and history. I love history. I mean, there's a lot. I love literature, English classes, that kind of thing. I could take a million of those type of classes. And I just love this idea of being able to get the expertise, experience of a tailor in Austria who this has been the family business for 250 years, and to pick up some of that. Yeah. I was just so excited when they reached out to me because I'm such a big proponent of that. All right, so let's talk about the classes just a little bit, and I'll pop over some screen recordings so you guys can kind of look and see what I'm seeing. So again, there are 52 projects. You get a new project every 2 weeks. Obviously, I have 3 projects right now, but this is not how, if you signed up, tomorrow, you would just have access to the first project for 2 weeks, and then at the end of that, you get access to the second project. And it starts off very basic, and then each builds on itself until the 52nd pattern is like the most I don't know if the most complex, but it gets progressively harder as you go. And each new techniques that you're learning each week or each 2 weeks goes into that particular project. So obviously the very first one is just this little A-line swishy dress. So that's week 1. Week 2 is this cute little gored skirt, and then week 3 is kind of this sheath dress with a V-neck. So that's kind of those are the classes that I have access to through this to be able to look at. And I started off with the lesson 1 because I always have to start at the beginning. I can't read a book series unless I start at book 1 and move my way through. I have to start at the beginning and work my way. And I was like, I don't know. I'm a pretty experienced seamstress. I don't know how much of this first lesson I'm gonna glean. Oh my gosh, it was so good. So it's dubbed. He is German speaking, and there is a voiceover for him while he's talking, which I thought that would be annoying, but no, because most of the time you're not looking at him talking, it's just his hands working. So I don't know, my brain just was associating the person talking with him. So it wasn't weird at all. And everything felt like it was flowing as it should. And the guy that is doing the English voiceover is very, clear and concise, so you're not having to deal with like a heavy accent that you can't understand. He's a very good speaker, the guy that is doing the voiceover, and so everything is very, very clear. But he pops in frequently to give you pro tips as he's going. I found it fascinating how he traces out all of his patterns. So all of his patterns are on oak tag, or like, which is kind of like what a manila envelope is made, or a manila folder is made out of. So everything is traced out on oak tag, nice and heavy, and they're all industry looking patterns, and he goes through with the tailor's chalk and traces them out. They have seam allowances on them, 1 centimeter seam allowances, and he talks about how to add a little bit more and where to add a little bit more if you're not sure about fitting. And then he cuts it out after he has traced it with the white tailor's chalk, which I thought was just really cool, and I bet would be so precise, and I don't know, it made me want to try that. I mean, I've been team rotary blade, rotary cutter for so long, but I think that might be kind of fun, especially with, I don't know, patterns that you use and like a ton. Anyway, but yeah, pops in with these little pro tips. He serges the outside of all of his seam. So he serged like both. So this is a dress that's cut on the fold. It's an A-line dress. So there's 1 front and then 2 backs. And there's a center back seam with a little button and loop closure. So he went through and serged, while the fabric was flat, both side seams and the hem on both the front and then on both backs and the center back seam first, and then sewed everything together, which I thought was interesting, so that he could get everything pressed open really nicely. And he does like a partial lining on this dress. It's all very top of the line, couture, but not so couture that you're like, oh, have to do all of this by hand. No, he uses an industrial serger. He uses an industrial sewing machine, which obviously can be very easily translated to the home equivalents of those. It's really made me want an industrial serger, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna need a bigger studio, folks. Gonna need a bigger studio. But it was just fascinating. He uses some fusibles, like not everything is sew in, like I think it would be like in a normal couture workshop, but everything, like these are techniques that have been used for 250 years. I just find that so, it connects to generations. There's just something so root about that. So there's something so very connective and connecting all of humanity about that, because everyone, you know, sewing is something that all cultures have done. And yeah, I just find that fascinating. So that was the first project, is the A-line dress. Very lovely to listen to. The first lesson I think is like an hour and 45 minutes when all is said and done. Again, it's a very basic dress. But the other thing is that a lot of these patterns are pretty basic for what they are. So the opportunity to hack things, to get like a base set of patterns to fit you, and then to hack and make things from then on, is like sky's the limit. I noticed that one of the patterns towards the end, I don't have access to it or anything, but there's like a fitted women's blazer. Well, you could take that pattern and lengthen it and make it into just like a tailored coat. Or, you know, there's just a lot that you could do. Like pants could become shorts, you know, dresses could become tops. You could get just a really good fitting sheath dress, and then add ease and just really go haywire with pattern drafting if you wanted to. I really would love to do the whole 2-year program. At the end of it, if you wanted to, there is an opportunity you could take a test and get certified by them, which could be kind of cool. I mean, I don't know what that would mean to like a client, but if it's sewing is something that you're interested in doing for a business, that might be something kind of cool to be able to hang on your wall or that sort of thing. But it's just the whole process. It makes me happy that people are willing to share all their learned, you know, generations worth of learned techniques, and to pass that on, because it will die if we're not showing the next generation. And that goes for all of us. Like I think about that with my kids, which neither of them are showing an interest in sewing, but maybe one day. But even if it's not my kids, you know, just pouring into the next generation. I lead a life group with a 16-year-old or 17-year-old who is, I can tell, really interested in learning to sew. She likes to thrift things and alter them for herself, and she's all self-taught, does everything by hand. She doesn't have a sewing machine. I've offered her some of my sewing machines. She just doesn't have room in her room for one. But you know, stuff like that, like searching for people that do really want to learn and pouring into them. It's just so important for our craft. And gosh, I would love to do this 52-week course, or this 2-year. So that would be 104 week, I guess. But this whole 2-year process would just be so cool to do, and I would love to do that. So I think what I'm gonna do going forward is I am gonna go ahead and follow along with the first 3 patterns and go ahead and make those up, whether I'm making them up for myself or my daughter. I may make the skirt and the fitted dress for my daughter, just because those are styles she would wear, and do the A-line dress for myself, because I think that would be really cute it'd be cute on her too, but she likes to cinch in her waist. Just to play around and to really follow along completely with the class. He talks about pre-washing fabric. There's a whole little video on how to set up your sewing room, how to properly measure yourself. There's just a whole bunch of bonus little videos that he has there that don't follow any of the actual prescribed lessons. They're like extras that are on there that just a wealth of information. So anyway, I am going to leave a link down to the video below. I have no affiliate with the link, so I don't get any kind of commission or anything when you click on the link. But if it's something you want to check out, they do have a 14-day trial that you can do. But again, it says in the little video there that it's 6 weeks money back if you're not happy with what you're with the progress or the class or whatever. So it does give you a little bit of a chance, and that's the first 3 patterns. The 6 weeks would be the first 3 patterns, and that's what I currently have. I mean, that's what I have access to through this. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go through, and of course I'll share my as I go through and share my progress with you all. But oh my gosh, it's just, yes, I drink it up. I just get really excited about sharing knowledge and learning. And also the craft of sewing, like that is, you know, clearly where a lot of the excitement comes from as well. It's just the whole craft of sewing. It's just something I'm very passionate about because it's been life-changing for me, and it's something that's been done for centuries. You know, since man first put together the first animal skins to make clothing, sewing has been around in some form or another. And yeah, I just find that really cool. Anyway, guys, I highly recommend that you swing over and just have a look. Watch the little video that's there on the front, kind of gives his backstory and that sort of thing. It's fascinating, and I really hope the best for them. I hope that this really takes off because I think it's a fabulous idea, and their heart just seems to be in the right place of wanting to share the information. So that's what I've got for you guys today. I hope you all enjoyed this and are as excited as I am about this very cool thing. But that is all I have for today. I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. I will be back on Friday with a pattern re-release from Love Notions, and also I've been working with a new to me pattern company, and I have made something from them and can't wait to show you what that is as well. So that is Friday, and then I have a bonus video going up on Saturday because it's my stop on the Frugal Frocks tour. So yeah, that will be just some inspiration and that sort of stuff, and kind of what I'm planning on making on Saturday. So we've got a little bonus video this week. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday and that you get some sewing in this week. I will see you soon. Bye.